Welcome once again. And we are going to first of all look at the interface. I'll walk you through the interface of the Microsoft Word. And remember, we are using Microsoft Word 2016. Yeah, before we look at any button here, let's try to look at what is called the backstage. The backstage. You can access the backstage by clicking on this file menu or on this file type. This is what I'm talking about. File menu. Now you click on it, and then this is the backstage. Well, this is not the same as the start screen. You can see that with the backstage, we have additional options like info, save as, history, print, share, export, close. Right? So we're going to take them one by one and then see what they are there for. Okay. So we've already talked about the home. We've talked about new. We've talked about open. Now we have to talk about info. So let's be quick and click on info to see. Now when you click on info, you have few functions here. And the first one is protect document. With this one, you are able to set some priorities or some restrictions to your document. Let's say you don't want people to be able to make changes to your work, to the document you've prepared. You can select always open read only so that people will not accidentally edit your work or the document. Also, we can use encrypt with password. Let's say you've typed something and you want to keep it very confidential. Once you click on this arrow, the small arrow we have here, and then this thing pops up, you see very different types of instructions or commands here or functions here. So I said the first one is to what? Open your file as read only, where you are trying to prevent uh, some accidental changes. And then the second one is encrypt with password. So you just have to go through the process. You click on it and then you follow the steps involved so that you add password to your work. Now, with the editing, restrict editing, here you are giving instructions to some settings to the document as to what kind of content that people will be able to change. So let me see if we can try that one. Now you can see that we can really restrict the kind of formatting style we expect. And also whatever we want anybody who has access to our document to edit to, we can restrict it. We can make sure that there's a portion in our document that nobody can edit it. We can make it static. Or there's a particular formatting that we wouldn't want anybody to change the formatting style. And then, so in your free time, you can click on it and then you explore. Let's go back to the backstage view. So this is the backstage again. We were on info. So here we have restrict access. And here you are completely restricting people from editing, copying, or printing. Whichever privilege you want to remove from this document, you can do so by just selecting this one. And with this one too, which is a digital signature, with this one, if you don't want if you want to add your initials and everything, your details to a particular document, you can add your signature and all that. And then to anywhere that your document will go or wherever it will be copied to, you still have those authorizations details of you. So that is it. Let's move on. Okay, you can also see the properties of the document, the total editing time, the number of words your document contains, the number of pages, and then the size, either being, let's say, in megabyte or kilobyte or whatsoever. And then we have related dates. This one shows the last day you modified, and then the day you created, and then the last time you printed this document. So, and then the related people. This one is all about the user, the particular user that you've logged into your machine, and it is using the Microsoft Word. So let's move on. So we have save. Save here. If you want to save any document for the first time, you can use the save. And if you want to, let's say you've made some changes to your document, you can also use the save. Now we will demonstrate to see how it works. So our work is a blank document that we've just opened. So let's try to save our work so that as we move on or we move along, we'll be saving it gradually. So we first of all click on the file, and then we click on the save button here. So once we click, it will give us some locations to save our document. It's either we can save it on the cloud, which is using Microsoft Cloud, or this computer, you can just store it on this computer. Or let's say you are on a network. Let's say you are in office where your computers have been networked. You can select the add place, and then you can save it to a particular location. And then with this browse, let's say you want to choose a particular location which is not listed here among the locations we have here. So you use the browse when this browse to select the location where you want to save your file. So let's click on cloud on browse. Now you see that you could have saved it anywhere here, but that wouldn't change anything. That wouldn't really that wouldn't enforce our understanding. So let's try to click on the browse and then try to save our work on the desktop. So I click here. Now once I click on browse, the system will open a dialog box for me called the save as box or the save box. Let me go over. Now we are on save. You click on browse, and then you have this save as dialog box open. Even though you click on save, you see that everything here is showing save as. Save as. It's because it is the first time you are saving. Because it is the first time you are saving. Now, if you want to choose a location, this is where you can use to choose a location. Here. So you have your scrolling bar here, where when you click on this one, the bar will move up, and when you click on this one, the bar will move down. So you look for the particular location you want to store your document. And per the instruction to this course, we are always to save on the desktop. So we can locate desktop here. And once we click on the desktop, we then come here, we click on where we have file name. File name. So when you click here, this box, this is where you'll be able to type. Here you will type the name you want to give to your document. So let's type political science group 1 and 2. Okay. Then when you are done, you click on save. In case I'm moving too fast, you can reverse the video and then watch it again. And mind you, if you want to practice as you watch the video, when you watch something, then you pause it, then you practice. You watch it, then you pause it, and you practice. Okay? So the cancel. Supposing you realize that, okay, there's no need to save, you can cancel. And then you go back to the working space. So now we want to save. So what do? We click on this save. So let's try to click. Now, once you click, you see that once you save it, you see that on the title bar, of course, this is the title bar. Okay? On the title bar, you see that instead of the document 1 that we had before, has now changed to political science group 1 and 2. And that is, of course, the name we use to save the document. So when you are using Word, once you save the document, your name will appear here, the name you use will appear here, and then the software you are using will appear here. Good. So let's go back to the Backstage View and then continue from there. Now, I said we click on save whenever we are trying to save for the first time. We can also try to use it after we've saved something. So let's try to look at it. So I'm going to use the rand command to extract some of the dummy data that comes with Microsoft Word. So we have rand into brackets open, the first number integer represent the number of paragraphs we want, and then the second integer or the second number represent the number of spaces, the number of lines we want. So we close it, and once we are done typing, we press enter. So once we press enter, we have exactly the number of paragraphs we requested. So we have one paragraph here, another paragraph here, another paragraph here, and then the last one. Okay, so we've made changes to this one. When we were saving the document, we had not typed anything on the page. By now, we have typed something on the page. If we should close this work without saving it again, we will lose everything. We will lose everything. So you would have to come to file again. It's either you come to file again and then click on save. You see that this time it didn't show any dialog box. It just saved and then it skipped the backstage view. Now there's another way that we can go about it. Let's say we are clearing these 3 various paragraphs and then we will be left with 1. We can save it again, but by this time we will not go to file. To see the backstage view, we will look at this button called the save button. This button. This is called the save button. Again, the save button. You click on this and then it will save. When it saves, you will not see anything at all, but it has saved. Make sure you click it to be sure that you've really clicked it. And you see that everything is saved. Now let's go back to the Backstage and then continue from there. So now we are on Save As. Save As. When do we use Save As? We use Save As in instances whereby, like our document, we've already saved the name with political science group 1 and group 2. This is the name we've saved our document with. Now, if we want to save it at a different location, listen very carefully. If we want to save it at a different location and then with different name, with any of what I've just said, you use the Save As. So let's give it a try. So I go here and then I click on Save As. You see that once I click on Save As, it will give me the exact pane or the space that I'll have in front of you or in front of me will be the exact interface we saw when we tried to save the work for the first time. So here too, even though we have saved our work, we can get the opportunity to browse and then choose a different location to save our work. So now let's say I want to save it at my document. I'll only come here, this place, and then locate my document, and then click to select my document. So now we are ready to save our work in my document. So you click save. Once you click save, everything will go. So now we have saved our work, one on the desktop and one inside my document. We use the save when we're saving it for the first time, and then when we wanted to change the location of where we are saving it, we use Save As. So let's close it and then go to the desktop to see if we have the file we created there. So we have show desktop. And what is the name of our file? Political science. And this is the file we first created. Good. So let's go to my document and see if we can locate the file that I created. So this is it. This is the second file I saved with Save As. So now we can either open from here or the one on the desktop. I prefer we use the one on the desktop because I have a lot of files here in my document and it will slow us down. Okay, so desktop, then I search for political science group 1 and 2. So now we use the Save As to save it to a different location on our computer. Now let's try to use the Save As to change the name we first created with. Remember, we first created with political science group 1 and 2. So let's go click the file and go to the Backstage. Now we click on Save As. And then we click on where we want to save this document. Again, we can choose desktop. And then we can change the name here. Clear it. And then we type political science 1 and 2. So now, one, we use the Save As to change the location, and then the other one to rename or to change the name of the document. Okay, let's move on. we are on print, and we all know what we use print for. Let's say whatever you type in Microsoft Word, if you want to have it in a hard copy or export it as PDF, you can still use the print command. So this is the print command. The print command. Good. So let's click on the print command and see what will happen. Now, once we we click on the print command, we have some few things here that we would have to look at. First, let's look at this one. This is called print preview. Print preview in the sense that it is showing you exactly how your work will look like when you print it. Okay, so it will show you exactly how it will look like when you print it. Now you can look at the extreme right hand corner at the bottom here. You can see that we have something there with minus and then plus, but in reality we call it decrease, and then this one being the decrease and increase being this one. So if you should click, let's try to click on the decrease or minus to see how our print preview will look like. So I'm clicking. You see, I'm reducing the size of the print preview. Let's try to click on the plus, which is the zoom in. So the plus is zoom in and then the minus is zoom out. The minus could be decrease and then the plus should be what? Increase. So let's click on the zoom in or the increase preview and let's see. You see that our preview is increasing. It will increase till you will see a scrolling bar appearing here to help you move to the various pages or phases of your work. So I prefer to keep it in a way that I can see everything. On the other hand, we can see another pane here. Whenever I say pane, I mean P-A-N-E. So pane here. So we are going to take our time and then look at it one by one. Okay. So with the pen that you are seeing here, once you click on on print, meaning that you are done making all the settings here, and then the settings you have here, these are the settings that will determine how your printed document will look like. So you only click on this print button when you are done making all the settings you need here. Okay, now before you click on this print, you can see something here labeled copies. This means the number of times you want to print your papers. So meaning if you should pick 2, meaning every page, if you have about 4 pages and you are printing all the pages, every page will print 2. If you select 3, every page will print 3. Okay, good. Let's come to this side where we have the printer showing. So this is telling you that the name, this column is the printer you've installed and it is connected to your computer. So here you can see what we have here, printer, and then a name of a printer here. So this is a name of my personal printer I use at home. So every printer has a name. So my printer's name is HP 2130 series, meaning Hewlett Packard printer, DeskJet printer, 2130 series. And you are seeing offline because whenever I see offline, meaning that the printer is not connected, or if it is connected, you have to check your cable, meaning the computer cannot find it. Good. Let's move on. So in order to select the printer, let's say you have so many printers. Always remember that when you click on this small arrow, meaning you have so many options. So let's try to click there and see. And then these are the list of printers that I've used my computer to connect to. So this is it. So the one that is connected currently, if you want to print anything, the one that is connected currently is what I'll select. Now, when you see this green tick on the printer, meaning that it is the default printer, meaning once you click on the print box, yes, the print button, and then this dialog box opens, this whole thing opens. If you should click on print now, the printer which has the green tick will be the one to print your document. Okay, good. So let's try to move on. This is settings. We can see settings here. Setting means how do you want your document to be printed. Now, when you click here, when you watch here very carefully, you see print all pages. Meaning that let's say if we have about 500 pages, we are saying that we should print all pages. All pages. But then if you don't want to print all pages, we can go through the various commands we have here. So let's say we have about 5 pages, and this is the current page we have opened. We want to print. If you want to print this page, this current page, I mean this one, this current page, then we will select this option, print current page. You just have to click on it, and then it will only print this particular page. So we select print current page, and then you click your print. So let's move on. We also have custom print. With custom print, let's say we have about 5 pages, but we only want to print page 2, page 1 and 4. You type page 1, and then you bring your comma. Then you type page 4. Once you are done, you click on print, and everything the numbers that you identified here, the number of pages you identified here will print exactly like that. So the rest you can click and then you explore to see how it works. But for instance, with this one, print one side. With this one, let's say some of the printers are able to print front and back. So let's say if you are using such a printer, you can choose print one side only to print on one page. If you have a printer that can print on both sides, this is it. So you see how the icon has been arranged. It is saying that should it print in such a way that you open it as a normal book where we open from right to left, or you want to print it from bottom, like you are like you have a notepad or something. When you write, you flip it to the top. When you write, you flip it to the top. So if you want it to print it that way, you can also choose this one. And if you want to manually print on both sides, you can choose this one. So the choice is yours. So explore and know how it works. You know how it works, better for you. So let's move on. No need to worry about this because we are still learning the basics. So let's say we want our paper or our document to print it in a landscape or portrait. When I say landscape, I mean when I say portrait, I mean when your paper is straight like this, that is the portrait. When your paper is straight like this, that is the portrait. And when your paper is like this, you see, it's like we've rotated it. If it is like this, meaning it is landscape, we've turned it. So if you want your work to be printed in a portrait form, you just have to select this one. And what you see here, whatever you are seeing here, is the exact way everything is going to be printed. That is why we call print preview, showing you exactly what will happen. So you choose this one too. Now, you can choose the paper size. We have A4, we have letter, we have A5, we have A3, envelopes, and so forth. So whatever you want to do, if you are trying to print something on the back of envelope, you could see that we have envelopes DL. This is a type of envelope, depending on the size. Envelope C5, envelope C6, right? And then we have paper A5 and then A4. And mostly, you know that Ghana, most of our papers that we use are of what? A4 type. So you just have to select A4. Once you select A4, it will modify the size of the paper you were seeing here. I'm going back to do it again. Try and monitor. Watch how it will look like. So before it was on letter. So you see, once I selected a letter, the size changed. And then let me click on A4. Now it has changed again. So now here's the case that you can print many pages on one paper. So let's say we want to print certain pages on one paper. Once we identify the pages we want to print, we can select the number of pages to appear on one paper. So we can have 2 pages appearing on one paper, depending on the options you select here. Because we have 1 page per paper per sheet, 2 pages per sheet, 4 pages per sheet, and so forth. Okay, let's move on. So share. We are on share. We are on share. Now, supposing you are done typing your work and you want to share your work. Maybe you want to send it to your lecturer. Send it as attached file. Okay? So you click on the share and you see that you have the opportunity here to email the whole work to your lecturer. And this one, you don't even have to bother opening a browser. Once you click it, you see what will happen. So you can explore. And let's say you are in a company whereby you are supposed to present something online. Microsoft Office 2016 gives us the opportunity or the privilege to be able to present it online by using this option. Or let's say if you have a personal website that you want to post whatever you've typed there, you don't have to go back and then be copying what you typed and then paste it there. You just have to upload this by posting it to the blog. Okay, so now let's say you have Google Drive account, you have Apple account, that is iCloud, you have uh, OneDrive account. OneDrive is for Microsoft. If you want to save it to cloud, you just have to click on this, select this one, and it will give you the opportunity to follow the prompt too, and that's okay. Let's move on. The next thing is export. Export. So when do we use export? Now we use export when we want to change the file type. Because remember, when you first create your document is in a default Microsoft Word extension. When I say extension, what I mean is, you see, when you type something, when you save something, and it has to do with Microsoft Word, you see this extension .docx. This is telling you that it will use Microsoft Word to open, or this Microsoft Word file. But here is the case that we can change this. So we can create PDF file here by clicking on this, or we can change the file type. Let's say Microsoft Office has different types of file types. So we can click here and then change by selecting it from here, the file type that we want. We look at something. We have some old version of Microsoft Word, which is 97 to 203. That one saves files in .doc, not .dox. I repeat. So the previous Microsoft Office, like 97 that we have here, 97 to 2003. The save document in .doc. Okay, so if you, let's say, if you don't know the kind of machine that you use your computer, you open the document you've created on. If you don't know the computer you are going to use, you can save it in Word 97 to 203 so that whichever computer you take it to, any version of the Microsoft Word can open it, right? So let's try the create PDF or XPS, this one. So let's click on it and see. Now we get the opportunity to create the documents we've just created in a PDF or XPS. You see, be remembered, PDF and XPS, they are all types of document format. So we can click on it, and it will give us the opportunity to save it in the format that we want. So here we can choose either PDF or XPS document. So when you choose PDF format, then you save it by clicking on publish, this one. Okay, and then you make sure you choose the location. So if you choose a desktop and then you click publish, so I'm going to click publish, and then let's see. Now let's try to look on my desktop. Okay, you see it has opened here. So whatever we type using the Microsoft Word, we've been able to export it to PDF. Okay, let's close it. So let's go back there. So close. If we want to close it, that is it. We click here. Now for these options, the account feedback, we saw that when we were treating the start screen view. Okay, so now let's move on. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial. We have learned so much about the backstage, and I said, one, when you want to access the backstage, you click on file. Sorry, you click on file. This is file. If you want to access the backstage view, when you click on it, it will give you the opportunity to use the various commands or instructions that we've discussed so far. Take your time and then go through and make sure you finish watching this particular tutorial, because you need what we've done so far very much. Thank you for watching. My name is your TA, Ben.